Jerry Mason, Kickin lawyer. So I thought we could talk about the video that's going around right now that involves the gentleman that's in his car in Florida. He's doing a video, and then now they've released the body cam from the officer's perspective, where they end up busting his window. You see him get punched. They pull him out of the car. So this also circles back to just sort of general advice on if you're stopped by the law enforcement. So let's say you're stopped by law enforcement and they're wrong. They don't have a reason to stop you, or they made a mistake and mixed your car up with somebody else and thought they didn't have a seatbelt and you do have your seatbelt, whatever. If the officers have made a mistake, you still need to comply with lawful orders from law enforcement. Law enforcement officers have a force continuum they can follow. And if they give you a lawful order and you don't respond, even if you think you're right, they can escalate. It's completely legal for them to do that. And this is a case that's a good example of that. So just if you've seen the narrative going around, you see the one perspective where he's basically trying to say he's just sitting in his car and they just start attacking him. And then from the body cam footage, you see more of the full story, which is where they had a legal reason they stopped him. Wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and I think he didn't have lights on or something, and he was supposed to at the time because of the weather. And anyway, either or could be valid reasons to stop him. At a very minimum, it's reasonable suspicion. And the cop's trying to get him to come out of the car. He refuses to give him his license, refuses to give him an ID, immediately wants a supervisor, won't get out of the car. All errors, right? So they get a couple other cops there. They've asked him multiple times to come out of the car. He refuses to do so. Lawful stop, lawful orders, so they escalate, all right? You've got force continuum, officer presence, which is what this is, and next level is going to be they get to put hands on him. That's what they can do, and so they do. And then, of course, he throws a big fit that they violated his rights when, no, he could have just given him his ID, his proof of insurance and registration, which I always advise that you do. Most states, that's something you need to comply with at a minimum. And you don't have to answer other questions. You don't have to say where you're going or where you're coming from or any of that kind of stuff. But you do at a minimum have to give them identification. You have to give them registration and proof of insurance if they request it. And if they ask you out of the vehicle, they have a right to do that. There's some officer safety issues. Supreme Court's ruled on that. If they want you to come out of the vehicle and in the interaction when they talk, they can do that. And you have to comply with those orders. So again, this is just a case where, it's either misinformation in the public where people think that they don't have to comply with law enforcement orders, or just somebody being ignorant. I don't know. But, please follow my advice. If you're stopped by law enforcement, the fight is not in the street. The fight's in the courtroom, and let us lawyers do that for you.